This is our championship game, and it's a matchup worthy. A matchup worthy of March. We get it in late November. Happy Thanksgiving once again, everyone. South Carolina and Texas underway with Edwards wasting no time. And they count it.
And right there, Rory Harmon being on the positive side of a lot of charges drawn in that UCLA game. She drew 4, a lot on Kiki Rice, a lot on Ledger Walker. Right here, Joyce Edwards, too big, too strong. That is probably not the way the Longhorns wanted to start off the game.
Dawn Staley just said pregame that Joyce made huge plays in the semifinal, and she begins this championship with another.
Yes, Texas is going to have their work cut out for them with a depleted roster, only playing 7 rotational players. And obviously South Carolina does a great job, physicality in their front court.
Cunningham with the first miss. Taniyah Latson calls her own number in transition, comes up short. And South Carolina's going to keep this. Could have easily been a foul.
And we mentioned the tremendous play of Okote and Edwards in the last game, but everyone that was not named Edwards, Okote, or Latson went 9 for 25 from the field. So that's got to be something that South Carolina sees. They didn't make, as Okote gets to the line, they only made 1 3, and that was Tessa Johnson. So you got to pay attention to that. That's got to be a conversation of getting others going in this game.
Well, Medina deep in her college career, but early in her South Carolina tenure, and Dawn Staley agreed that was her best performance as a Gamecock last night.
Well, a solid double-double in the 3rd quarter. A nod from Coach Staley. That's saying a lot.
But they like the pacing of it, right? It didn't come in waves. It was steady and consistent, built throughout, and that's what South Carolina needs from her.
Well, she was the Gamecock that was ready to go to start. If you remember correctly, Duke opened the game competitive, scoring from the offensive end, making things a little difficult, but Okote was just a force in the paint.
The first 5 belong to South Carolina. Here's Rory Harmon, who had her head coach tearing up with her clutch 4th quarter performance yesterday. Lee finds her on the baseline. Harmon to the lane, knocks down the mid-range jumper.
And picks up right where she left off. This matchup right here between Harmon and Johnson is going to be a good one. Harmon, known for her defensive ability to quarterback and make things difficult for the offense.
A travel. Our coach got started early and turns it over.
And if you look at this Texas offense, everyone was talking about whether they've played anybody thus far. Well, last game they did. They played UCLA. They actually faced something they hadn't seen this season, somebody over 6'2" in the rotation. So the way that they guarded Betts was textbook. They made things difficult for her, and they're going to have to do this with the South Carolina front court.
Lee trying to get that entry to Booker. It's Tessa Johnson who draws the assignments. High-low pass, and a bucket inside for Brea Cunningham.
And Booker did a great job in the last game of facilitating. Her shot wasn't falling like we're used to seeing, that mid-range magic, but Booker finding ways to do other things on offense.
South Carolina has made her inefficient in their matchups so far this calendar year. They're trying to do the same again tonight with their defense.
Well, South Carolina is long and athletic at every single position, and they can make things difficult with their depth coming in from the bench as well.
Harmon deep in the clock with an interception and a skip all the way opposites. Texas hits a 3 with Jordan Lee.
And right there, you talk about an X factor. Jordan Lee gave UCLA's guards difficulty because she is long and athletic, but she was the one that started off the 3s for Texas as well.
Okote and 1 on the roll. Lee tried to give up the body, but it's a block.
And right here, Texas just textbook in to out recovery by Harmon, and then calm, cool, collected a point guard in which has the ball in her hands a lot, only had 1 turnover yesterday in the game. So she takes care of this Texas offense.
Candace, that steal moves her to 5th all-time on the career list at UT. She leads all active players in career assists and is closing in on the Texas record there as well.
And Dawn Staley upset. She thought that was an and one. Ref said there's no continuation. It was on the catch.
So T'Niya Latson to the line. And you might have caught that Lee took that first foul, so that's 2 quick ones. And a decision to make now for Vic Schaefer on how to play this. Lee was a leading scorer for Texas in the Final Four loss to South Carolina. She put up 16, and so far, no sub coming for her.
And Texas is a team that does not foul. And so for South Carolina to have 3 early trips to the free throw line this early in the game, it's something to watch out for.
Harmon's pass knocked out by Tessa Johnson.
And I like what Coach Schaefer is doing on that. Obviously, Tessa Johnson giving up a little size to Madison Booker. Best way to get your guard going is get her in the paint. Right there, nice execution on the out-of-bounds play.
After a sluggish start, Texas has connected on its last 4 shots from the floor, ratcheting up their defensive intensity. Latson looking for a second chance opportunity. Weak side rebound to Booker. Madison Booker with the handle and brings the whistle, puts a foul on Tessa Johnson.
And right there, the best way to get on the board when you're struggling a little bit is to be patient, which Booker was in that second half against UCLA. Right here, taking the match up and getting into the paint. I mean, the way to do it is to get to the free throw line and see the ball go through the net.
Big 12 Player of the Year as a freshman, playing point guard, leading the team to the Elite 8. Then SEC Player of the Year as a sophomore, and a trip to the Final Four. The junior from Ridgeland, Mississippi, extending Texas's early lead. Raven Johnson to the wing, Latson. Had it knocked away by Booker, but maintains the possession. And she gets a foul on Booker.
And Booker is beside herself. She thinks that Latson hooked her a little bit right here. You got Latson. Good defense so far by Booker, and then again, she did. Booker has a right, but will Vic Schaefer challenge that as he rips off his jacket? Madison Booker has every right to be upset. Latson indeed did use that off arm to hook her.
Not even 4 minutes into the first, the blazer is off.
Look at the daughter love right there. His daughter Blair, he played for him at Mississippi State, trying to calm her dad down as she's an assistant coach for the Longhorns.
That's where they started recruiting Rory Harmon. Worked out okay, both in Austin.
And you'll notice this Texas offense will use a lot of those pin downs, a lot of the single double screens.
Joyce Edwards with her eyes up, lost the handle, spotted the shooter. Latson had all day to line it up.
And that right there, Joyce Edwards draws under control, kicks on the laces to Latson.
Cunningham turns right shoulder and goes off glass.
That is a nice crab dribble. Cunningham early on, keeping Texas in this. 6 early buckets.
shooting it well. They've scored on 5 of their last 6 attempts. Tessa Johnson rolls to the lane. And she sticks the pull-up.
And that right there, Texas having to be careful. They're already in the bonus. They cannot risk any more fouls.
Booker off the Sidbury screen. Puts it in the hands of Hart. 10 left in the half court for Texas. Midway point of the opening stanza.
And Texas is okay going deep into the shot clock.
Booker, good hit.
And the reason why they're okay is because they put the ball in Harmon.
What a catch by
That is
Edwards.
so nice. Great rim run. Heads up play, lets the defender settle and gets the easy deuce. But this is the patience that Texas plays with. They're content just being efficient, going down into the shot clock and not forcing bad shots.
Threading the needle for a layup. How about Rory Harmon? Taya Sidbury, the beneficiary. Already 3 assists for the reigning leader in college basketball. Latson has knocked down a 3, now attacks the rack. At 17-15 as we resume. Texas used an 11-3 run to rally from an early deficit. South Carolina with the basketball as we resume. Tessa Johnson had it blocked. Justice Carlton with her fingerprints all over it.
And Carlton having herself a game. Every hustle play that Texas needed her to make yesterday against UCLA, she did. Cleaning up the glass. I mean, it's just a little bit of everything.
Here she is with the basketball. A little shoulder shake.
It's like she heard me. She
Okay,
knew she had to
Justice
make a play.
Carlton.
She's definitely the X factor. I think her and Lee being able to complement Harmon as well as Booker will be the key tonight.
I think you're right. I don't know that Texas is here without Carlton and her performance yesterday. McDaniel, Maddie McDaniel off the South Carolina bench. And Tessa Johnson, mid-range. Off the mark. Cunningham has a defensive board. Texas wanted a foul on it, too. She's playing with a full head of steam, a ton of confidence. This time, Justice Carlton missing. A sophomore from Katy, Texas. Adele Tack into the game for Dawn Staley. Over to set the side screen. McDaniel finds the roller. Tack converts.
And doing a great job, McDaniel on that cleared out screen and roll. Tack rolled and was wide open as Texas wasn't there in help side. And this is what we'll see from Texas time and time again. Those pin downs that are so difficult to guard because Madison Booker loves getting to that mid-range.
She may not miss that shot again tonight. It was like 90% from there. Lee flying down the floor. I think Tack got in her field of vision. She wanted Booker and turns it over.
And I think Lee has to go up with that as Booker's looking like, you gotta go up for the layup. Coach Schaefer as well. Right here, heads up play by Harmon. She had the step on her. I think she could have got that layup off.
Now, despite playing at one of the fastest paces in the game, fewer than 11 turnovers per contest so far this season for Texas. Top 5 in the nation. It makes sense because Lee's #1 in assist to turnover ratio in women's basketball. Harmon's 3rd. We got 2 of the top 3. McDaniel, oh, kicking it old school.
Is that a little Kareem-ish?
The outcome wasn't, but the thought process perhaps. Here's Harmon. Swatted. Adele Tack off the South Carolina bench at both ends.
And so far early in this game, it's been about the front court play of both teams. You think about Cunningham, and you also think about the extra effort. Tack coming over, great help side defense, able to get to that shot. They know Harmon has been more aggressive in this tournament, calling her own number and scoring.
Booker from the baseline.
That is pure right there. Beautiful shot by Booker.
Edwards in the secondary. No whistle. Kyla Oldacre in the post for Texas. Lee pulls up on the move. So steady, Jordan Lee.
And Jordan Lee doing a great job of taking advantage of misses, getting down the court early.
Johnson against Booker. Gets the switch from Carlton. Rising and knocking it down. Tessa Johnson.
And Tessa Johnson looks a little bit more aggressive than she was in yesterday's game early on. And they need her to be, because like I said, Edwards and Okote kind of carried the offensive load the other night. They need somebody else to step up.
Oldacre denied. Second block for Tack. Gamecocks on the move. Latson over the top. Edwards in traffic. Again the whistle. The composure to spot McDaniel. Snatched down by Madison Booker on the defensive glass. Shot clock turned off. Texas with the lead in the basketball at the end of the first. Lee with 7. Harmon comes to get it. End of the quarter pull-up. There's a good first frame for Tapp. 6 assists in the first frame. Justice Carlton screening for her. Oldacre posting, can't find her. Here's Booker circling the lane. Forced it up, but not in. Agat McKeer makes her first appearance for South Carolina. Latson spins out. Has her own miss. Again.
And Latson just struggling early to get things to go. Missing some bunnies around the basket, but meanwhile, Texas down the floor, taking a page out of South Carolina's book with the fast break push.
Johnson finds a roller. A coach shut off on the baseline by Oldacre. Back in the hands of Raven Johnson. Texas continues to seal off that rim.
Yeah, seems to be a lid on the rim. Texas doing a great job of keeping their hands straight up. I think they learned from those early foul calls as Latson misses a couple bunnies. Johnson missed a couple.
But Schaefer letting Jordan Lee play through 2 fouls. Johnson got a hand on it. Booker has the possession. Midway point of the shot clock. Texas in the half court. Tough contested 2 off the side of the board.
And great defense by Johnson to make things tough. She's being physical with Booker early.
Gamecocks have hit a drought on offense. Just 1 of their last 9. Where they look for a bucket.
Well, where the game opened up was they started leaning on their defense against UCLA, and they were able to, or against Duke, and they were able to get out in transition in that second quarter. If you remember correctly, the court was tilted in that second quarter. They were able to get some fast break going, and right here you see trying to split the defense, get in the paint. Again, they rely so heavily, 58 points to 28 Duke points in the paint.
Harmon to Carlton, nice shot fake. There's a trip to the line. Harmon's gonna reset the Texas assist record.
And again, Carlton continues to impose her will and make her presence felt in this game. Extra hustle plays, gets to the free throw line.
Longhorns have hit all 4 of their foul shots in this opening half. Nia Latson cut off by Harmon. Able to keep the dribble. Got caught up in the air. She spills with Oldacre. And let's see. The jump ball and the arrow will keep it at this end, but Kyla Oldacre shaken up.
As everybody collectively holds their breath with Texas, their depth already lacking. 3 players out. Lands hard on that left arm right there.
Those 3 players, Ashton Judd with a knee, Brianna Preston and Aaliyah Crump with foot injuries. Tight rotation yesterday was no sweat. Only 7 horns needed. Led by 20 at the half and withstood a second half burst from UCLA. The game was within 4 points with 4.5 minutes to go. Gamecocks Texas that is never gave up the lead. McKeer off the mark from 3. Harmon on the move with the rebound, running with Lee. Rory Harmon, not this time. And that's a foul on Justice Carlton.
And McKeer just doing a great job battling for that rebound. She was a big factor coming in off the bench. She's drawing that Rory Harmon matchup, and we'll see if her length will impact Rory. It did on that shot.
Coat looking for the entry pass, had it knocked away by Oldacre. 5th turnover for South Carolina. Lee using the shot fake. It's a good contest on the recovery from McKee.
And where does the ball find?
Every time, Justice Carlton.
Carlton just has a knack and a nose finding the ball, doing a great job collecting those offensive rebounds.
McKeer had a Coat briefly, but it's knocked out by Carlton.
Right here, it's all about hustle plays. Oldacre doing a great job, and the ball sometimes finds you. Carlton composed, being able to get an extra possession for the Longhorns, which is the most efficient team in the country in field goal percentage, and that's why.
One dribble pull-up, rhythm dribble, and it helped Joyce Edwards snap the drought for South Carolina.
Yes, Joyce Edwards is going to do that. She's going to be the one that's going to have the ball in her hands when South Carolina goes cold.
Lee off a baseline screen. Good action, no hoop. Raven Johnson up to Latson. Trying to beat this Texas defense down the floor.
And Latson just 1 of 9 from the field. Tessa Johnson doing a great job doing her part. She's efficient, 3 of 4, but Latson was the 3rd piece in the last game, so Tessa Johnson filling in early for the Gamecocks.
Look how hard Lee had to work to get it. Latson giving her fits and still finds the hoop.
And you're gonna see that old school windshield wiper double on one side, single for Texas offense. They're gonna let Lee operate and Madison Booker coming off, and good luck trying to guard them in the mid-range.
Up and down we go. Now the action picking up. Tessa Johnson able to score it and then able to assist. Lee from the middle of the floor this time. Turns the corner on Latson. The subtle screen there from Kyla Oldacre to Springer. And foul shots coming for the Horns.
And Lee doing a good job keeping it. The play was to get the ball back to Harmon. Harmon denied. Lee takes it on herself. Nice little hesitation dribble to get the Gamecocks up in the air.
Schaefer going to his bench for Taya Sidbury. Good rip of minutes there for Justice Carlton. She's been so valuable this week in Las Vegas.
Well, Carlton contributing, but also Lee picking up those 2 early fouls. The trust of your head coach and your teammates for you not to pick up a 3rd. She hasn't come out yet.
Six of the 7 Longhorns have scored already in this first half, with Lee setting the pace for Texas. Tessa Johnson has been the creator. Gets all the way home with the left hand.
And that's the thing about the Gamecocks. From one game to another, you can have multiple contributors. You have the vets like Tessa Johnson and Raven Johnson that know what it takes to win a national championship. They've played in these type of games.
Booker. South Carolina gets a stop. Some momentum. Basketball down 4. This time an errant pass, and Johnson turns it over. On the counter, up to Lee. Against the Coat, into traffic. Rory Harmon will settle Texas into the half court. McDaniel digging in defensively. This is Sidbury with 8. Runs into the second defender and has it ripped away. Joyce Edwards the steal. Edwards on the move. End to end, Joyce Edwards leaves it on the front iron.
And I bet South Carolina wants some of those bunnies back. They're not finishing very well at the rim. We're so used to them dominating in the paint early.
55% from the floor, top 3 in college basketball, but only 37% so far against this Texas defense. Odaker. Oh, rejected with 3.5 to go on the shot clock.
The front court of Ocote and Edwards.
Our impact player presented by Lilly. Back underway with 3.5 to go in our opening half. Some trouble off the inbound, and Texas unable to get a shot off of it. Let's send it over to Chelsea.
In that last timeout, JB, Dawn Staley talked a lot about how physical this game is. She said that she wants her guards to take their defenders off the dribble more and try to dump it off to Medina Ocote or to a big who's on the block. She said take the contact and finish strong at the rim.
So South Carolina can put that into action. Their first possession after that timeout. Thank you, Chelsea. With the screen.
And the screen and roll has been successful for South Carolina. It gets Texas to have to collapse to absorb the roll. Tessa Johnson's called her own number a couple times, and then on that, able to hit Johnson for the U-turn.
Raven Johnson working hard to deny Booker the touch in the half court. 14 left on the shot clock for Texas.
And the Gamecocks defense right there. The intensity is stepping up. They know how heavily they rely on their defense to ignite their offense going downhill in the open court.
2 of the 3 most efficient offenses in the sport. Dueling here on the defensive end now as Lee misses. McDaniel. Oh, what a pass. Everything but the finish for Joyce Edwards.
And Gamecocks still unable to finish. There is a lid on the rim.
Justice Carlton back in for the Longhorns. Her screen freed up Harmon. She's after the offensive rebound, and the tie-up, Vieira will keep it at this end. Every time Carlton grabs a rebound, you look my way, Candace.
Well, Carlton, just right here, a lot of posts stop on this possession. No, Carlton rolls to the rim because she understands with Harmon against the size of South Carolina, she's gonna have to clean up a lot of those bunnies, those misses off the glass. I mean, just extra effort after extra effort.
Lee off the re-screen. Tessa Johnson defending. Again, another offensive board. I'm repeating myself. Justice is fouled. Justice is served, you might say. She's been everywhere.
And playing hard is a skill. Right here, Carlton. Joyce Edwards blocking her out, getting her on the arm on that hook, but just giving Texas look after look with extra effort.
2 minutes to go in the first half.
Gamecocks are good and getting good looks. They just have to finish them.
Johnson spots up, banks it in. They're going to count this. And do they have a foul on Booker as well? The news goes from good to great if you're a South Carolina fan.
Right here on this foul, little wrap. Don't know if it happened before the foul call. We couldn't see the timing of that, but I think they're gonna go and review whether the foul occurred as for Madison Booker. I have to tell you, Coach, I don't know. Right here, you see this wrap and grab. That is definitely something that has to be called. You have to have freedom of movement as a post player. Ocote doing a great job taking up space.
Second foul on Booker once again. No 3 for Johnson, but she does have the basketball.
And again, the Gamecocks going to this pick and roll with Tessa Johnson, quarterback in this offense.
Great position. Okote unable to capitalize.
And again, I sound like a broken record. South Carolina's getting great looks. They just have to capitalize on them.
Booker and Texas, meantime, having trouble at this end. They're 1 for their last 8. A hard screen, but without a field goal for more than 4 minutes. Lee, a violation. Too long in the lane and gives it back to South Carolina.
Texas loves going to those curls for their guards coming through the lane. They got to be decisive when they get in there.
Final minute of a very entertaining first half. The Players Era Championship. Raven Johnson against Rory Harmon, the 2 lead guards.
And again, just a lid on the bucket for South Carolina.
Oldacre dribbled it off her foot. Medina Okote takes over. Johnson finds the roller. Okote gathers and has it blocked by Carleton. The help defense from Justice Carleton.
And again, Texas extra effort, second help side defense. Carleton gets her hand on a second effort again on this end.
Both teams with only 10 points apiece in this second quarter. Lee looking for the final say. Last second heave. And a tough shooting second quarter, a grudge match. A defensive slugfest going to the 4 double-digit scoring efforts already this season, including yesterday's win. Gets us started in the third. Rory Harmon defending.
Right here immediately, they go to what has gotten them here. Joyce Edwards doesn't capitalize on that, but I like Dawn Staley's mode of attack, playing through players that can see the defense and not just call their own numbers.
Booker was running off that screen, an errant pass from Harmon as she left it short. Edwards had it blocked.
And both coaches trying to draw up something to get their main players going. Edwards on one end, Booker on the other. Right here, Edwards comes down, little pump fake. But Texas's length, definitely a factor early in this second half.
And the first points of the third quarter along to South Carolina and Raven Johnson.
And South Carolina taking advantage, not having Johnson bring the ball up like that against pressure, taking advantage of the size of Harmon in the post.
How about Justice Carleton getting the start in the second half for Texas? She's earned it.
Yeah, well, Carleton's activity has been imprinted on this game. She's gotten Texas extra possessions off the offensive rebounding. Talk about blocking shots, help side.
Lee against Tessa Johnson, off balance, no problem. Jordan Lee.
And I love that Lee is staying aggressive. They need her to continue to capitalize on those curls and be efficient in that mid-range.
Now Latson into trouble on the baseline and commits the foul on Booker.
And Latson having a tough outing here thus far. Just 1 of 9, 1 turnover in 14 minutes. You think about the big 3 from yesterday for South Carolina. That big 3 today is just 5 of 19. Latson, Okote, and Edwards.
Do you attribute any of the poor shooting to going back-to-back for the first time this season for these student athletes?
I think 100%, but it is a dress rehearsal for conference tournament as Madison Booker gets a great one to go with that left hand. She is going to have to get going downhill.
Edwards attacks that closeout, and she rolls it home.
Friendly roll. I love aggression. I think aggression in the end always wins. You got to stick with what you've done all year. South Carolina can't shy away from going in the paint.
backdoor cut, and too hot to handle from Carlton there. Turnover number 7 for Texas. Okote with deep position, working against Cunningham, and she scores on the second side.
Right there. Deliberate in their offense and where they want to go coming out of halftime. Both teams putting the ball in their key players' hands early.
Lee crossing over on Johnson, comes to that jump stop and takes a trip to the line.
Wisdom Hilton right here, assistant coach for the Longhorns. I grew up battling against Lindsay, was her teammate for a couple years, and then she was drafted out to the LA Sparks. It's a family affair here today. It's so proud, just as her sister, watching what she's doing. She's in charge of the posts, and so I, sometimes text her after games like, was that move looked familiar?
Is it true that she's the only player that's ever had you coming off the bench?
Yes, our U12 team. Shout out to the Shooting Stars.
Was the last time you were a 6th player of the year? Great entry. And so they've got Medina Okote going. That's an encouraging sign for South Carolina. They're within 2.
And they're doing it in different ways. They're allowing the ball to touch one side, and then she's such a great sealer that she's given her teammates a great target for entry.
Still a choppy half-court offense for Texas. And Booker trying to solve for that. The Gamecocks get a stop, and they got a chance to tie or take the lead.
And Booker has to keep driving with authority right there as Old Acre comes in. Right here, this is a great take. Gotta finish that. I think if you're Texas, you live with Madison Booker getting downhill.
And we're going the other way on an illegal screen.
And this pace of play right here is favoring Texas. Texas can play in a number of ways. They're methodical in their half-court action. They're deliberate. They have mid-range masters. South Carolina, they want to cause turnovers. They want to open things up and allow their athletes to flow in transition.
Carlton on the take. Great pivot to shed the defender and score. Longhorns have led for 21 minutes of this contest. Taniyah Latson trying to change that. Fouls on the floor.
And Latson still putting pressure on the defense despite early shooting woes. I love her aggression. She's tough to stop, keeping her out of the lane. And as you know, if you're a scorer, all you need to do is see one go down.
Great end line execution there. Easiest bucket that Joyce Edwards will get all night. Old Acre hammers that dribble. Bit out of control, but bailed out by the whistle.
And if you're Okote at that size, have her shoot over your length. Don't reach in, no pushes, just stay straight up.
Both of Okote's fouls here in this third quarter. Old Acre to the line. She's the only Longhorn who has yet to score. Asked for one word to describe herself, Kyla Old Acre said stoic.
Face never changes, never changes. I like it.
1 out of 2. Texas maintaining its lead. Edwards in the trees with the finish and a free throw to follow.
Just athleticism on display, over the top seal. finishes over the help side defense. It's been an emphasis to get Edwards touches in this second half, as she only had 7 field goal attempts in the first. Starting off nice. Both teams already scoring more points than they did right now in the entire second quarter.
Dawn Staley says that Joyce Edwards is a star. Carries herself that way too. Practices that way. She has tied the game at 42. Midway point of the shot clock. Harmon to Carlton. Tried to muscle it up and in and traveled.
I think Carlton bailed on the flex pick for Booker as a result of an earlier turnover in that game. I think Booker was open on that cut during that play.
Gamecocks' last lead was 5-4. Edwards has it now.
And the Gamecocks take the lead back up 44-42 with the play of Joyce Edwards knocking down that shot. I think Texas has to contest that.
Carlton off the shot fake. Downhill. Does not have the answer.
Everything but the bucket on that play. And here is where South Carolina is dangerous. Where the floor is opened up, where they're using their defense to ignite their offense. You don't want to allow South Carolina's athletes to get running down in transition. They're going to make you pay.
Number 2, South Carolina. They've made their last 8 shots. They've rallied for the advantage. Madison Booker could not settle things down, but Edwards got underneath Justice Carlton and takes the foul. And Texas is in the bonus the rest of the way as Edwards sits with those 3 fouls. Carlton left both at the line.
And Texas struggling early. If there's any critique of their offense, 67% on the year from the free throw line.
Coach screening for Johnson. It's help from the wing, deflected and stolen. Booker takes it away for Texas. Can she get started for the Longhorns? She's sensing her moments, but it's just not her night.
Seems like she can't get anything to go. Got away with a little bit of hook as South Carolina fans are going crazy over the no call.
Tessa Johnson missing the 3. Carlton's there for the rebound.
Of course, Carlton's there for the rebound. She's been there the entire weekend.
Got a half a dozen. Isla McDowell is in defensively here for South Carolina. Up against Carlton. Spins out on Justice Carlton.
And the question is, where do they go with Joyce Edwards on the bench? Latson's been struggling. Tessa Johnson had herself a great first half.
Back to her cut. Extra pass. McDowell. She would have been an unlikely source. Latson's would more like it.
And Latson getting back-to-back layups after starting 1 for 9. Getting a feel for this game. She's the type of scorer that you don't want to allow her to see the ball go through the basket.
D1's active leading scorer in her first season with South Carolina. Extending the lead out to 6.
Yeah, you can't fake a backdoor. Madison Booker, you got to cut.
A coach sprays it out to the wing. McDowell. Not this time. A coach got the offensive board and the putback.
And everything going South Carolina's way. You can feel the intensity, the momentum of this game shifting the Gamecocks' way. They're doing it. Coach doing a little bit of everything.
Tonight's impact player presented by Lilly. Let's check in with Chelsea.
And that last time out, JB, Vic Schaefer looked at Madison Booker and said, you can't take plays off and you have to get back. As for the rest of the team, he said, our offense looks stagnant. You have to stop standing and waving to get open. They're playing harder on defense than we are on offense. They look tired, but your mind has to stay engaged. So Vic Schaefer wanting a much better effort from the Longhorns.
And Harmon ending that scoring drought. Texas had not scored for 3 minutes and 42 seconds. I would like Harmon to be a little bit more aggressive in this Texas Longhorn offense, not just assisting and setting the table for others, but calling her own number.
It's only her second made field goal. Lee claims the defensive board. It's like she missed some early shots and stopped looking for her offense.
Yeah, sometimes when you're not used to being that go-to scorer, you're used to kind of setting the table. You can be a little bit complacent. Lee doing a great job running out in transition before the Gamecocks are set.
She leads Texas with 15 points on 12 attempts. Tessa Johnson back to the top. Not sure whether to post or screen. Disjointed possession there for South Carolina. Shot clock turned off. Texas can take the last. They've been outscored in this period 21-13.
Texas making this a one-possession game, possibly if they're able to score in this last play, has to feel good about where they're at, considering their scoring drought.
Here's Harmon again. We're going the other way. It was Tania Latson who hit the floor, and it was Kyla Oldacre with this screen.
She's already beat. There's no need to move into your defender. Your guard's already catching and shooting.
5 seconds left for Tessa Johnson on the move. From the logo, nearly banked it in.
JB, entering this fourth quarter, you've got to have an aggressive Madison Booker, and you've got to have an aggressive Rory Harmon if you're Texas. And on the other side, how long is Dawn Staley going to keep Joyce Edwards on the bench with that third foul? Ocote, the offense has to run through her until Joyce gets back in.
Booker to Harmon. Here's Lee at the wing. Tessa Johnson defending. Jordan Lee to the free throw line.
And Lee, they're running their offense through Lee. She has 15 points, leading them in scoring. She's aggressive, doing a great job operating out of that middle of the paint, off of the curls, off of the pick and rolls. Takes advantage and gets to the free throw line.
This has been a category that Texas has been able to leverage. They've made more foul shots, and South Carolina has attempted tonight. Now 12 of 15 as a group. With Edwards still on the bench, it's a one-possession game in Las Vegas. Raven Johnson out of the corner. They play 4 around Medina Ocote. Up to screen with 12. Surrounded by Longhorns on that roll. Lee comes away with possession. Booker picks it up, crossing over. Madison Booker. Texas has tied it up.
And that's a great sign. They need Madison Booker to stay aggressive.
Johnson could not get it. Orange get it stopped. Harmon on the move across to Lee. Lee in attack mode. And we're going the other way. South Carolina basketball.
And Texas doing a great job knowing where South Carolina wants to go. Great help side by Booker. And then right here, calm, cool, collected, gets to her spot and rises up for that midi that we've seen her knock down time and time again. Sometimes as a scorer, you have to trust the work you've put in. The percentages will level out if you continue to stay aggressive and take the shots that you know are good within this offense.
50 apiece. Joyce Edwards with 3 fouls is back on the floor for Dawn Staley. Tania Latson hits the underside of the rim, but is fouled.
And those handoffs for South Carolina have served well, getting their guards going downhill, not shying away from the contact as Latson puts a lot of pressure on the Longhorns.
Now look at what Latson has done across her career. 3 years at Florida State. Her 101st career game today.
And JB, it is a difficulty when you're a player that is used to having the offense run through you every possession to then adjust what's a good shot, what's within the offense. And so you're seeing that early with Latson trying to figure out her way in South Carolina's offense.
And the preseason All-American. So big, lofty expectations. Lee over to Gamecocks, partially blocked. Edwards tracks it down.
And Carlton down at the other end.
A left-handed scoop, no. Coat had hands on it, and Texas will get it back and get back to 5-on-5 basketball.
Carlton, Lee with the short miss. Carlton just comes up lame, grabbing that left knee. Looked like she got up and tried to walk it off and just can't.
Ooh. Well, her line doesn't even tell the full story of her impacts. With just over 8 minutes to go, that could be immensely consequential for Texas in their hopes of winning this game. And we hope it's an injury that only impacts this game. Harmon off a high screen. Booker goes to work. Madison Booker.
And Booker living on that baseline. Calm, cool, collected, gets to her spot. And that's what we've seen time and time again from Madison Booker. That's why Texas Longhorns made it to the Final Four last year, is that she's able to get her shot. She is a bucket getter. She can call her own number. As Carlton goes back to the scores table to check back in.
Wow, what a lift for the Longhorns. Seven and a half to go. McDaniel runs the show. Latson whirling, keeping her pivot foot and scoring.
And Rory Harmon, you're not used to seeing her lose that matchup right there. She's got to stay in front, make Latson take tough pull-up jump shots. She's getting to the rim too easily.
On that last trip, she tied Cami Etheridge for the all-time assist lead in Texas basketball history. Here she is again. Lee. Long rebound belongs to Oldacre and is back in the hands of Harmon. And neither team getting much from the three-point line tonight. And it's been a two-point fest. Carlton back from injury to tie things up at 54.
Knee looked pretty good on that possession. That's a good sign for the Longhorns.
Edwards off the elbow. One and done for South Carolina. Madison Booker flying down the floor. Madison Booker for the lead.
And Madison Booker, 3 of her last.
By one possession as we pick things up in the fourth.
And JB, we knew this game was going to be a rock fight. It was going to be a defensive stance. And it has literally played out the exact way. South Carolina on the offensive end gets Joyce Edwards back in the game after picking up those 3 fouls.
Raven Johnson at the top. Now to the block. Here is Edwards with 6 to shoot. Goes to work. Left it on the iron. Oldacre is there for the rebound.
Rory Harmon in the UCLA game was the only Longhorn to score in the 4th quarter. As they go inside to Oldacre, that matchup right there. Great steal by Oldacre. They've had contributions, and a lot of her contributions haven't showed up in the stat sheet. She's made things really difficult for Ocote in the paint.
So her first field goal comes with less than 6 minutes to go in regulation. Raven Johnson maintaining that dribble and threading two for South Carolina.
And Texas understands where South Carolina is going to have to go, to their front court. So what are they going to do? They're going to play off their guards and make their guards beat them.
Booker collects on the baseline with Raven Johnson defending, falling away, and connecting.
And she has 4 of her last 4 field goals. And aggressive Madison Booker is a scary thing.
Boy, the Gamecocks were down the floor in the blink of an eye, but they turn it over.
And Texas lucky on that. Slow to get back and match up. Booker doing a good job operating on this baseline. Right here, Texas, calm, cool, collected, rises to that mid-range. As South Carolina goes zone here to see if Texas can be slowed on the offensive end.
Lee missing. But the Gamecocks could not control it.
And who was that caused by? Justice Carlton.
11
and that will not show up in the stat sheet. She just has a way of always finding those offensive rebounds, getting her team second possessions.
When coaches say that a player makes winning plays, it can be cliche, but I think it's really applicable to what Carlton has given Texas in Las Vegas.
Well, she's got an engine, she's got a motor, she's got extra effort. Those are all things that Texas has benefited from.
Lee hits, and Rory Harmon sets a record.
Perfectly executed out of bounds play right there by the Longhorns.
Will it be one they can celebrate with a championship here at the Players Era? Just outside of 4 to go.
And if you're Ocote, you have to set solid screens, make the defense collapse. That's how you're gonna get layups.
Booker gives it back to her point guard.
And South Carolina back in man position. You're gonna see these pin downs as Old Acre makes a difficult moving screen on that possession.
What's the counter punch for South Carolina? Is it Edwards? Is it Ocote? Back within 4. Lee spots up, misses the 3, has her own rebound. Strips, a scramble. Tessa Johnson has it, with Harmon back defensively, driving the issue and bringing the whistle. Rory Harmon is Texas's new all-time assist leader. 7-7-7 here in Las Vegas.
Well, that is tremendous. Obviously, we understand the importance of Rory Harmon to the Texas program. I do believe that her jersey will be in the rafters one day in Austin. Just Final Four continues to.
Oh, Tessa Johnson for 3.
Tessa, a much-needed 3 from the Gamecocks to loosen up the paint. Just 2 of 7 from beyond the arc.
Harmon the post entry. Old Acre denied. And guess who on the weak side to keep Texas connected?
And both teams understand what the other opponent is trying to do. Everyone wants to live in the paint in this game. So both teams are going to have to knock down open jump shots to loosen things up. South Carolina's guards still have to maintain their aggression, hunting shots. Tessa Johnson coming up big on that possession.
Her lip is bloodied. She's left in return with a knee injury. She's 4 of 6 at the line. It's a player who tore her ACL, MCL, and meniscus in that right knee in high school. One out of 2. A whistle before the shot. This is a defensive foul with 2:19 to go.
And South Carolina trying to get Okoth in the paint with a seal with a nice back screen from Tessa Johnson, who came off the screen wide open here. Great play by Dawn Staley as Tessa Johnson just knocked down an earlier three the possession before, making the defense make a choice.
Texas did have a foul to give, so no free throws here. Adina Okoth to send it in from the baseline. Dawn Staley calls her set. Okoth up to screen for Raven Johnson. And we're going the other way.
And Okoth was not set on that screen. A lot of confusion on that offensive possession. Raven Johnson has to wait for the screen, but Okoth, you have to make sure that you get set. Booker doing a good job of pressuring the ball to get that offensive screening call.
Doesn't just cost him the possession, it's 4 on one of the key Gamecocks here. Justice Carlton. Oldacre fighting for the offensive rebound, and she's going to the line. Is that on Okoth? That's her 5th.
And right here, Joyce Edwards taking this matchup. Carlton, of course, getting her own rebound, but Oldacre on the backside, understanding that it's important to clean it up. Let's see if she can knock down these 2 free throws, but that is huge for South Carolina with Okoth out of the game.
As Oldacre hits, Adele Tack, the sophomore from Grand Prairie, Texas, is going to have to fill her shoes in closing time. 1 out of 2. But look who's there for the offensive board. Madison Booker with the free possession for the Longhorns with a 3-point lead.
And right here, if you're the Longhorns, you don't want to kill too much time, but I think you got to put the ball in Madison Booker's hands and allow her to get to work.
Harmon with a short clock. Too strong, no resets. It's going to be Texas basketball, but only 0.3 left on the shot clock.
And this has got to be a tip as there's only 0.3 seconds.
Harmon knows. Oldacre. And so South Carolina stays within a possession.
And if you're South Carolina, you don't need a 3. You need a good look. I think the ball has to go through Joyce Edwards on this possession. They've had some success with getting her to the paint through back screens, through the pick and roll to get her rolling towards the basket.
Here she is on the blow-by. Fouled on the reverse. A 66% foul shooter, Joyce Edwards.
And everyone understanding where the ball was going. Carlton slipped on that possession. Great job by Edwards, not settling for the jump shot, going to the rack and getting to the free throw line.
4th personal foul on Kyla Oldacre for Texas. Missed them both. Booker's there for the board.
And South Carolina doesn't have to foul on this possession. They have to play tough defense, make things tough. But if you're Texas, I think Madison Booker or Lee have to take this shot.
Booker dangerously near that sideline. 10 to shoot. Between 2 Gamecocks. Had it stripped. Raven Johnson on the run. And she's fouled with 44 seconds to go.
Smart take by Raven Johnson. Everybody and their mama knew Booker was going to get this. Joyce doing a great job using her athleticism on that double off that screen. And Raven getting to the bucket in transition. Let's see if the Gamecocks can capitalize from the charity stripe as Joyce Edwards missed 2 last possession.
Raven, one of their better foul shooters. Short on the first.
And again, this is still a 2-possession game. No need to foul on this defensive effort, but they need that free throw to go down. A 2-point game.
The Longhorns' new all-time assist leader with the basketball. And a 2-point lead in the closing seconds. Ten left on the timer. They can't find Booker. They can't find Harmon. To the floor, Latson. Possession and a timeout for Dawn Staley. In the hands of Edwards. Back to Latson. Latson to tie it up. She'll have to earn it at the stripe.
And I love that Dawn Staley drawing up a play for their bucket getter. Latson has not had the greatest game, but has stayed aggressive.
6 for 7 at the line. .1 left. Texas with 3 timeouts.
Texas has got to run this offensive set with a little bit more pace. The clock is ticking down.
Harmon for the Players Era crown.
Just impressive that you're not fouling.
Deflected. And only .1 left for now. Harmon says game over. Of course, she had the hand on it, and our officials will take a look. Our championship crew. Brenda Pentoha going to draw a foul here before the inbound. Harmon the go-ahead hoop. Harmon the deflection to lead just a fraction of a second. Timeout, South Carolina. Brea Cunningham at 6'4" on the ball. Raven Johnson to throw it in. And it's over. Texas wins the Players Era.